Welcome, everyone, to Focus Mange Audio. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, a pretty wild idea from Noah Kagan's book, Million Dollar Weekend.
Uh-huh. The core claim is launching a potential seven-figure business in just 48 hours.
Exactly. It definitely makes you raise an eyebrow, right? It flies in the face of everything we think we know about starting a business.
It really does. Kagan, founder of AppSumo, early Facebook guy,
Yeah.
employee #30, I think.
Right.
He's basically saying, forget the huge loans, the 5-year plans, the months of prep. He argues that's often just stalling.
Yeah. Procrastination disguised as due diligence.
That's the term he uses.
Yeah.
His big claim is that almost anyone can use his framework to get a potentially massive business off the ground, like fast.
And he's apparently done it himself. Built, what, $8 million plus businesses using this kind of rapid launch?
So he says, yeah, many of them apparently use this exact 48-hour sprint approach.
Yeah.
It's battle-tested, at least by him.
Okay, so our mission for you today is to really unpack this framework. We want to get past this sort of get-rich-quick vibe and look at the actual psychology and the practical steps. What makes this supposedly possible?
Let's do it. Because it's less about market conditions, initially anyway, and more about internal battles.
Okay, let's get into that. Before the weekend even starts, Kagan focuses heavily on mindset. He says the framework is really about tackling two massive internal roadblocks. Not external stuff, but things inside us. What are they?
Right. And these are the big ones, the ones that stop most people before they even start. He identifies the fear of starting and the fear of asking.
Fear of starting. That's the classic analysis paralysis, isn't it? Thinking you need the perfect logo, the perfect website, every feature figured out.
Exactly. You get stuck planning forever. It's this belief that you need the perfect everything. Kagan's antidote, his core principle for this is now, not how.
Not how. Okay.
Yeah. It demands you just start. Take immediate, imperfect action. Don't get bogged down in figuring out every single step beforehand. Speed itself becomes the weapon against that inertia.
Makes sense. Force yourself to move. But okay, what about the second one? The fear of asking. That feels deeper. Like actually asking someone for money for your untested idea.
Mm-hmm. That's often the killer. The discomfort around selling, asking for cash commitment, it feels pushy, or maybe you fear rejection.
So how does the framework tackle that?
Well, a couple of ways. First, it forces you to completely reframe rejection. It's not failure. It's not personal. Rejection is just valuable market data, necessary data even. Every no tells you something important.
Okay, data, not disaster. I like that. But what about feeling like you're, I don't know, bothering people by selling?
That's where the second reframing comes in. The book argues pretty forcefully that if you truly believe your product or service helps someone, makes their life better, then selling is helping.
Selling is helping.
Yeah. You're not tricking them. You're offering a solution to a problem they have. Asking for money is just asking for permission to deliver that help. It's shifted from feeling awkward to feeling almost like a duty.
Interesting shift. And he actually suggests practicing this asking thing, right? Like a warm-up exercise.
Oh yeah, the coffee challenge or something similar. He suggests deliberately asking for a small, kind of pointless discount, like 10% off your coffee.
Just a 2. Get used to hearing no.
Exactly. It's not about saving 30 cents. It's about normalizing the feeling of asking, the slight awkwardness, the potential rejection. You build calluses against that discomfort, so when you need to ask for real money for your business idea, it doesn't feel quite so terrifying.
Building psychological muscle. Okay, I get it. So you work on the mindset, you practice asking, and then comes the main event, the 48-hour money challenge. This sounds intense.
It is intense, and it's the absolute core of the validation process. This is where the theory meets reality, hard.
And the validation isn't just people seem interested, right?
No way. Forget surveys, yeah, I'd probably buy that. Kagan calls that stuff polite rejection, useless. The only validation that counts in this framework is a real financial transaction. Cash is the only definitive proof someone actually wants what you're offering.
So what's the actual goal within those 48 hours? How much cash? How many people?
It's very specific. You need to get 3 paying customers, not leads, not promises, 3 people who have actually paid you money, even if it's a small amount, by pre-selling your solution.
3 sales in 2 days. Wow.
Yeah. He argues that hitting that number creates million-dollar momentum. It proves something is there. If you can't get 3 people to pay you in a weekend, the idea in its current form is probably dead in the water. Time to pivot.
Okay, but 3 sales of what? You can't build a complex app or product in 48 hours. How does that work? This must be where the minimum viable offer, MVO, comes in.
Exactly. The MVO is critical for making the timeline work. It's the absolute simplest, quickest possible solution to the customer's pain point you identified. Crucially, it's often not a finished product.
So what does it look like then?
Often, it's a manually delivered service. Well, let's use his example. I think he talks about travel planning idea. Your grand vision might be some AI platform.
Right, something complex.
Yeah, but you can't build that in a weekend.
Hmm.
So your MVO is maybe you personally researching and emailing a custom travel itinerary to those first 3 customers for, say, $50 each.
Ah, okay. So you're testing the value of the custom itinerary, not the fancy tech delivery
So
system.
precisely. You deliver the core value manually. It's fast. It requires minimal setup. And it directly tests if people will pay for the outcome.
I see. And this manual MVO ties into another key principle, doesn't it? Something about not spending your own money.
Yes, the zero-spend mandate. This is huge for de-risking. The rule is you must pre-sell the MVO. You get the cash from those first 3 customers before you fully deliver, or even sometimes before you fully figure out the manual deliver.
So you're using their money, not yours.
Exactly. Customer capital funds the initial validation. You invest $0 up front. If nobody pays, you haven't lost your savings, just maybe a weekend. It proves viability without you taking on personal financial risk.
That takes a lot of the fear out of it, doesn't it? The fear of betting the farm on an idea.
It's designed to.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still the fear of, quitting your day job eventually. Even if the MVO costs nothing, people need their salary.
Right. Which leads to another concept in the book, the freedom number. What's that about?
The freedom number is basically your survival number. It's the absolute minimum monthly revenue your new business needs to generate to cover your essential personal living costs. Rent, food, basic bills, nothing fancy.
So you calculate that number precisely, like I need $4,850 a month to live.
Exactly. It takes that vague, terrifying cloud of going broke and turns it into a concrete, manageable target. Can this business reliably make $4,850 a month? That's a much less scary question than, will this make me rich?
And the strategy isn't to quit your job on day 3.
Definitely not. The strategy is crucial. You build this business in your spare time evenings, weekends, until it consistently hits your freedom number.
Ah, okay.
Only then, when the business can provably support you, do you consider leaving your job. It makes the transition data-driven and planned, not a wild leap of faith. It addresses the whole golden handcuffs problem.
Right. Okay, so the initial weekend gets you validated with 3 sales, 0 spend. You work towards the freedom number on the side. What happens after that? How do you scale towards the $1 million part of the title?
Yeah, the scaling path involves a shift in mindset. You stop just trying to validate an idea and become a problem seeker. You actively hunt for bigger, more valuable problems to solve.
Not just waiting for brilliant ideas to strike.
Right. It's about systematically finding pain points. He suggests 2 main tools for this. First, keep a frustration log.
Just write down things that annoy you.
Pretty much. Daily annoyances, things that seem inefficient, problems you encounter yourself or see others facing. Consistent frustrations often point to business opportunities.
And the second tool?
The 3 circles of pain. You look for problems. First, within yourself, what frustrates you. Second, within your zone of influence, people you know well, industries you understand. And third, within businesses you know, well, maybe your employer, or companies you interact with.
So you're looking for problems in areas you already have some insight into. Makes sense. But how do you know if solving one of these problems actually has $1 million potential?
That's where the next filter comes in. The 1-minute business model. It's basically quick napkin math.
Napkin math.
Yeah, like, can the basic numbers work?
Yep.
If you find a problem and think of a $10 a month solution, how many customers would you need to hit $1 million a year? Is that number realistic given the market size?
So quick check on unit economics and market size before you invest significant time.
Exactly. If the basic math shows you'd need like 5 million customers for a niche product and the total market is only 50,000, then it fails the scalability test right there.
Yeah.
Move on. Don't waste months building something with a low ceiling.
That seems incredibly efficient. Prevents falling in love with an idea that just can't scale. Okay, one last piece on scaling. Audience. In today's world of crazy algorithms, how does he suggest building a reliable path to customers long term?
He is absolutely crystal clear on this. Email is king.
Still, even with social media.
Especially with social media. Social platforms are great for discovery, for getting initial eyeballs, but those platforms control access to your followers. Algorithms change, accounts get suspended. You don't own that audience.
You own your email list.
You own your email list. The long-term strategy has to be converting those social followers, website visitors, whoever, into email subscribers. That list is your asset. You control the communication channel, ensuring you can always reach your audience to deliver value and eventually sell. It's about long-term stability and control.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this all up. When you boil it down, the $1 million weekend approach, it's kind of paradoxical, isn't it? It uses intense speed not just to launch, but to overcome fear and actually build stability.
That's a great way to put it. The speed forces action, bypassing the overthinking that kills so many ideas. The 48-hour deadline forces validation through actual cash, not hopes. And the freedom number turns the terrifying existential risk into a calculated, achievable financial goal.
So the speed isn't just about getting rich fast, it's about getting data fast and reducing risk fast.
Exactly. It transforms the leap of faith into a series of small, data-driven steps. Build courage through practice, get real feedback from real money, launch now.
Well, that's definitely given us a lot to think about. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Focus Me Audio. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more learning. Focus Me, expanding minds.
And maybe leave you with this shot, setting aside the $1 million target for a moment. The first goal is just stability. What is your personal freedom number, that minimum you need? And thinking really simply, what's a basic manually delivered MVO you could possibly pre-sell, maybe even this weekend, to start testing the waters?